Hey there, Jesse Moore.
Fred Boskus, we're with Pickett Street Properties.
So we want to talk, we've been having some hurdles recently with valuations from the banks. So let me explain real quick how this works. I put on a property, and I know how banks price or value properties, and so I put it on within their range. And so I have a property, let's say, that's worth $265. So this is a recent example. I put it on the market for $270, slightly above market. After 2 weeks, we don't have any offers. I drop it to $260, right, just below market. And then I got 2 offers, one for $215 and one for $230,000. And some agents would just accept that and send it into the bank. And this is why banks treat us poorly, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that there are probably a lot of agents that are just happy to get any offer that they don't really think about the qualification of it.
So how that ends up hurting us is I know that this property is worth, $250 to $265. So that's the range that I'm looking for. Now, if I accept an offer that's way lower than that, I'm telling the bank, listen, I'm not really advocating, I'm not really trying to get as much money as possible for this property, I'm just trying to get a commission. And that's not our message at all. I'm trying to get the homeowner out of a bad situation, at the same time fulfilling as much of their debt obligation as possible. And so hopefully the bank has learned that about our team, but the reality is that they're going to send out an agent to tell them, an objective third-party agent, to tell them, what is this property realistically worth? We're going to pay you $40 for your opinion.
And you may travel 50 miles.
Or further.
To go do this. You may visit a property that is 50 miles from where you live.
That you have no market understanding of.
Exactly.
And so then this agent does a valuation, and let's say that property that's worth $260, $265. He or she somehow determines it's worth $290. And so now that bank is arguing, well, this is worth $290, and you've only submitted a contract to us at $250.
We're not going to
accept this. You need to have your buyer come up. Well, the buyer's not going to come up because they can buy a much bigger house for that much more money. And so the process for combating that is called a value dispute. And so we've been doing a lot more of this recently because our market in the Puget Sound area is actually slightly on the rise. And so this has, I think, valuation agents kind of flummoxed.
And overestimating
to some degree. And so we've actually had to do this quite a bit recently where we have to say, no bank, we don't accept your value from this agent that doesn't sell a lot of homes. And actually I shouldn't say that. I've done BPOs and I sell a lot of homes. But they're a low income stream for me, so I've chosen not to do them anymore. And I know a very capable agent in our office who does a lot of BPOs. So I don't mean to say they're not capable. It's just that when we have a value dispute, to me that's a sign that that's a less capable agent who did the valuation. And so now I have to prove to the bank that I know what I'm doing, that we know what we're doing, and that this value is out of line. The value that they've received is out of line, and here's the reasons why. And I would say, what do you say on average? A value dispute probably lengthens the process by how many weeks?
4.
Yeah, I would say
easy.
2 to 6, with 4 being the average. So if you don't get that value right, and you end up having to do a value dispute, add 4 weeks to the short sale process.
Right, and I mean, it's interesting to see where a value will come in higher than we've listed the property for. And to take Jesse's example, if we've been on the market for a month at $270, $260, and we're finally getting an offer, if that property is worth $290, don't you think that common sense would say that you would be getting all kinds of attention and multiple offers right away?
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's another thing that's interesting. So, like in that example, they could say it's worth $290, but I had it at $275 for $270 with no offers for 2 weeks. And so that's the other thing is you have to show certainly if I have that track record, that helps our argument. But if I put a property on the market and it sells in a day, it's going to be a little harder to. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It certainly does. But I better have enough ammunition where I can justify that value to the bank. So we just wanted to talk about valuations, how important that is to the process, and what to do if you get a bad valuation. And so the tool that we employ is called a value dispute. And sadly, we've gotten pretty effective at it. And hopefully from now on, we're knowing that it adds a month to the process. We're just doing whatever we can to control that valuation process to make sure that it comes in as close to contract value as possible.
And actually, in some cases, preparing for it. I know before I had official word of where a BPO came in at, I had someone from the bank suggest that the value was going to be higher than what we were under contract for. So as soon as that information came in and we did find out officially, I'm like, all right, I'm disputing the value, here you go. And we're able to try and shave some time off of it.
And this is something we actually talked about at lunch. One of the tools that we might employ soon is asking the seller to pay for a full appraisal as soon as we get an offer.
Right.
And then we say, bank, you don't have to go have one of your agents that you don't know if they sold any homes in the last 12 months go tell you how much this property is worth. Here's a full appraisal.
Right.
With the value. And
which they really can't dispute.
Right. So anyway, value disputes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.